all your dating struggles, the pain, the heartbreak, the disappointment, the loneliness and fear, that is God literally trying to crack you open. So you have no choice, but to look at love more deeply. If you're a successful woman in your 30s or 40s and you are exhausted by dating, scared you'll never find love, and unsure why you're still single, you are in the right place. Welcome to Find Love with Emily. I'm Emily Bucknell, and I am not here to give you more of the same old dating advice, tell you to try harder, swipe more, fix yourself, or wait for your luck to change, because you already know that none of that works. This is where we look below the surface at how love really happens, the one rule it always follows, and the reason dating has felt so hard for so long. Because when you see that, dating finally makes sense and love becomes possible again, even if it's been years since you've been on a decent date. So let's get into today's episode. Maybe love's just not meant for me. If that's a thought that you have had, this is the episode for you. Because we touched on this really briefly in episode number 1, but I wanted, even when I was recording that, I was like, oh, I've got to come back and have a bigger conversation about that, because there's something I want to make really freaking clear from here on out. If you want love, it is meant for you. Full stop, end of freaking story. If you had that thought, maybe love's not meant for me, it just comes from a misunderstanding you have about how love happens. You know, it's a normal assumption we make. When it feels like you've tried everything to find love, it can be really easy just to say, okay, well, maybe it's not meant for me. But the thing is that you say that because you've tried everything except the one thing that matters most if you want love. Like, you're here, obviously, because you've done years of putting yourself out there, swiping on the apps that you don't enjoy. You've had a million getting to know you conversations with men that you never speak to again. If you're like me, months of hoping breadcrumbs somehow turn into more. And you get to this point where dating is just painful. Dating is exhausting. It feels like it's not worth your time, your energy, or your effort anymore. And I remember getting to that point really, really well. And it felt, to be honest, like I was kind of getting squished into a vice or something. The only two options I could see, I didn't love, Both would only lead to more pain. The first option, just keep dating the way that I had been, trying to find love, but I knew it wasn't working. And then the other option was the pain of giving up on love and accepting that it may never happen. Literally saying, maybe love's not meant for me, and leaving it at that. And sometimes it does feel like you have no choice but option 2. Because while there's obvious sadness there, it can also bring a shit ton of relief. When you say, okay, I'm going to give up on dating the way that I have been and just see what happens, then what you do is you give yourself permission to stop pouring yourself into dating, into trying to find love in a way that isn't working. And that's going to feel good. To say something like, oh, if it's meant to be, it'll be. I'm leaving it up to God or perfect timing. I'm surrendering, letting life unfold as it will. It can feel really good to say that. It can feel spiritual, mature, the right thing to say. But I want to make this really clear. If you're saying that, it still means that you're unlikely to ever find love at all, because you're still not doing the one thing that matters if you want love. Because the thing is that love, it's not random. Love always follows the one rule. Love follows love. Love is predictable. And as long as you're not following that rule, it doesn't matter what you say. It's still not going to happen for you. I also want you to think about love and what love is. When I say, if you want love, it's meant for you, that's loving, isn't it? God, or that power bigger than us, whatever you call it, it didn't give you the desire to have love, to have this relationship that you want, to have a life with someone that you want, only to then withhold it from you. That's not love. That's just freaking mean. And so then we come to the question, okay, well, if I want love and it's meant to be, why hasn't it happened? Why is it so hard right now? So what I want you to understand is that all this time that you have been dating and trying to find love, God, source, love, whatever that power is that's bigger than us, whatever you call it, It has actually been trying to guide you this entire time to love. And 100%, the message has got a little lost in translation, and don't feel bad because it took me 13 years to figure this out. So I am here to happily translate now. When it comes to finding love, how you feel, it's like the warning lights on the dash of your car. It's telling you everything that you need to know, whether you're on track to find love or totally off course. The exhaustion, the frustration, the pressure, the desperation, the hopelessness that you feel, it feels painful, doesn't it? Just like if you put your hand on a hot stove, that pain is what makes you move your hand away. So that pain that you feel around dating, around finding love, it's trying to get you to pay attention, to do something differently. It is not telling you to give up on love. And I get me saying, like, do something different when it comes to dating is not what you want to hear. If you're anything like me, it feels like you've probably done everything known to man to find love. And so you're like, well, what the hell else is there left for me to do? And I get that. And this honestly is why I have such a bone to pick with 99% of the endless dating advice that you find out there. Because you listen to someone and they say, okay, that app is better than this app. Oh, no. You need to be more in your feminine energy. You're too in your masculine energy, and that's why it's not happening. Oh, no. It's your attachment style that's the problem. Oh, no, it's actually that you suck at playing hard to get. Oh, no. It's actually that you suck at texting. You need to use these ridiculous texting scripts that appeal to his reptilian brain. So you keep trying to do it all. And everything that you do, you're like, I hope this finally friggin' works, but it never effing does. I want you to realize that most dating advice, it's just the same old recycled bullshit that might help you date or meet men if you're lucky, but it's never gonna help you find love. And why is that? Let me ask you this. Do you really believe that love will happen for you just because you switched apps? Or because you copied a profile template that somebody else gave you? Or that you're really good at playing like the game, or because you wore a red dress on a first date, or you turned yourself into the chill girl who's happy just to see how things go. All of that is just surface level crap that has nothing to do with love. It's just playing the dating game that mistakes attention for love. And plus, when you think about how you feel when you are doing all of that stuff, you end up feeling like you're not good enough as you are. You end up hating men, complaining about how terrible dating is, and feeling awful about your chance of ever finding love. That pulls you away from love, not closer to it. To be brutally honest, dating advice is what has fucked it for you. Because remember, love always follows the one rule. Love follows love. This is the entire basis of the work I guide women through inside Attract Your Man. But more importantly, it is the missing piece to find love that most women have never been shown. So you're left saying, well, if it's meant to be, it'll be. No. Love will be when you follow love's one rule. This is the reason that I am here and why I do this work that I do. I am on a goddamn mission to change typical dating advice so it's based on how love really happens. Not surface level dating BS that beats you down till you get to a point where you don't feel like love is even possible for you anymore. How is that okay? If you want dating to get easier, you want to meet the genuine, kind, loyal men who want a committed relationship like you do, then from here, you take simple steps to follow the one rule love does. Like, do that and finding love gets so much easier. So I want to go back really quickly to what God Life Source has been trying to tell you all this time. How it's been trying to guide you to love. There's this Rumi quote that you might have heard, and it's so perfect for what I'm about to say. The wound is a place where the light enters you. So all your dating struggles, the pain, the heartbreak, the disappointment, the loneliness and fear, that is God literally trying to crack you open. So you have no choice, but to look at love more deeply. You know how I said I felt like I was in that vice? Like I had these two options and both felt friggin' awful? Eventually I cracked. It took getting cheated on and dumped by my boyfriend and then ghosted by this guy I was convinced was the one for me to realize that there was a third option life had been trying to get me to see the entire time. And I appreciate how annoying it is when people say this when you're the one in pain. But I'm going to say this anyway. This is the most incredible gift life could ever freaking give you. Because you are someone who gets to have a deeper understanding of love and of life that most people never get. And when you get this, when you take steps to follow the one rule love does, love has a way of flowing into all areas of your life. Even though I've been married now for 8 years, I still use everything I've learned about love today. It's how I've built the business that I now have. It's how I swapped nursing, which I didn't love, for this work that leaves me so fulfilled. It's how I ended up with the family of my own that I always wanted. You know, so many of my Attract Your Man students have ended up with new opportunities at work, more fulfilling careers, travel, upgrades to their living situations, and obviously, like the man they've always wanted in their life as well. I so firmly believe there's a big group of us women who are given this lesson in love. For other people, it might be in their careers, family, friendships, finances, health. And there are a lot of people I don't believe get this lesson at all, and they live lives that just kind of tick along. But there are people on this planet, us, who get to understand life and love more deeply. And we get to live a life that is a hell of a lot richer because it's deeper. And the fact that you're here is a big old freaking sign that you're one of them. So when I woke up to all of this, I saw it like God, life, love had been kind of like dangling this desire I had for love in front of me like a carrot, saying, you can have it all. You can have the relationship, the love, the family, when you stop trying to smash that square peg into a round hole. Like forcing and putting all the effort into dating, it's not going to freaking do it. It was saying to me, like, stop, go deeper, understand love. Live life following the one rule love does, and you'll have it all. So I did that, and yeah, I got the carrot. So this episode, honestly, it went deeper than I had originally planned. But I think it's super important that you hear this and that you understand you are someone who gets to understand love and life in a deeper way than most people do. And the sooner you stop fighting that and you go with it, the sooner you'll end up with what it is that you want, that love that you want. But honestly, it's your choice to do with this what you may. But I have a feeling that there's likely a really, really big part of you that doesn't want to go back to dating the way that you have been. It's just too uncomfortable. There's too much pain there. You know already it doesn't work. And there's an even bigger part of you that doesn't want to give up on love either. You don't want to say, oh, well, if it's meant to be, it'll be, and just hang hope on thin air. So if what I've said today has hit something in you, I want you to listen to that. Because there are going to be people who listen to this who won't resonate with what I've said at all, which means that this isn't their lesson in life. For you, though, it is time to stop and go deeper, to understand love and to take really simple, practical steps to follow the one rule love does. And this isn't something that you need to figure out alone either. Like just having this moment of realization is freaking everything. Because I created Attract Your Man for the women who want love already, but who are exhausted and done with dating the way that you have been. Women who want and really need a different way of going about finding love. So like I said, if what I've been talking about today has hit something within you, I want you to pause this now, click the link in the show notes and check out Attract Your Man. Because you are ready to do this. Like you are more than ready to do this. So yeah, this really wasn't the episode I thought I was recording, but I feel like it's a conversation that does need to be had. Mainly so you can start making sense of why dating, why finding love has been such a struggle for you. Love is meant for you. You can have it. You're just not going to find it on the path that you probably expected. Like, you get to walk a way better one. So if you have any comments, questions, anything you'd like to do an episode on, come send me a DM on Instagram. And please, I'd love to see your photos of how you're listening to the podcast every Sunday. like the ritual that you've created for yourself. Because remember, we're dedicating Sundays to love. So until next week, love always.